Now. It's time for Two Birds and One Stoner with me, MistaTre, that feel-good show to get you going.
I woke up so motivated, I can't even lie. I've been stressing.
We're not in a position where we should agree. This isn't an easy subject, and that's okay around here.
You see, I got all my game from the streets of California. Young nigga.
I'm not questioning anybody's intelligence. I think we're past that. I'm now questioning the ethics of the situation.
So what, we smoke weed, we're just having fun.
I can't even believe it. I had to hang up on that guy. He just said he used weed that wasn't decarboxylated to cook. I can't do you today.
In my mind, they saying, make them remember your name. If they love you, it's cool. Give them a reason to hate
You could ask yourself an insane question. What if I'm not on any side and I just want the truth?
His gift is a curse. Forget the earth, he's got the urge to pull his dick from the dirt and fuck the whole universe. I'm not afraid.
Maybe we can have a debate over what successful is, but I can tell you one thing. I know I was meant to do this, and no one's going to argue that.
He said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Successful.
Evening, America. What is going on with you, America? And all over the globe, Canada, all my friends up in the cold northern. Matter of fact, shout out to my buddy Dave from Canada, checking out live right now, actually checking out the show live. So I just want to say a shout out to Dave real quick. Love you, Dave. Thanks for joining the show, buddy. I'm from Canada. We are worldwide, Craig. I mean worldwide, Craig. So I'm really excited to let all of our listeners know that we are adding a show out of Canada. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. We're adding a show out of Canada. Folks, you heard me. Bringing them in from Canada. Hey, the Canadians. I'm telling you right now, I'm super stoked over Canadians. Anyone who knows me knows I love Canadians. I think I might have been born, part Canadian and just no one ever told me. I mean, it could be that too. So, let's go. I'm super excited. And then, of course, me and the sales team, anytime you give us something that we can try to sell that's greater than what we already have, I mean, Jesus Christ, let's do this. I mean, straight up Tom Brady level, let's fucking go. No retirement. Y'all saw how my retirement from radio went. It lasted for 2 months. Literally lasted for 2 whole months. That's it. That's all I could take. And then I was like, no. Can't do this anymore. So I do want to get into our first subject of the day. Today's subjects aren't as great, they're not as happy-go-lucky this time. I'm going to be honest with you. Shout out to Scotty Pippen, by the way, from the Blunt Football Talk Show, checking in. We got 2 subjects on deck for you guys today. No doubt about it. It's going to be fun. But the subjects aren't going to be the usual, easy, happy-go-lucky topics, man. These topics got a little weight to them. So first off, we're taking on Oklahoma law because I feel like when I explain to you what happened in Oklahoma when it comes to how Oklahomans turned down recreational cannabis, when I explain to you what really happened, I think that you're going to have as big of a problem with that as I do, in all honesty. But and then later in the show, we're going into drunk driving. Why? You a bitch. After my uncle was murdered by a drunk driver in weeks past, I'm now comfortable enough, I guess if you want to call it that, to bring this to the table and bring this to the show and actually address this on the show now, because I'm not going to lie to you, I wasn't ready when I planned on it. Much like most things, I try to go back to work sooner than I should, and like always, and so just like, I came back from surgery to do a show when Putin decided to be a big old bitch and invade fucking the Ukraine, right? So again, I just want to say welcome to Two Birds and One Stone. If you want to join the show, all you got to do is hit the request button on Instagram, or you can join the show live at our favorite place, Podbean, where our shows are live cast from. That's Podbean. So www.podbean, and then look up Wake-In-Bake America Show, and you can jump right into the show, listen to the show, check the show out. Shout out to Paul G, listening live on Podbean right now. I just saw him pop into the room, so I just wanted to give him a shout out. He's been around a couple of times. So shout out to Paul G checking out the show. We love you, dude, for coming in and getting with the business with us. Thanks a bunch, buddy. So, Paul G, you a champ, man. Thank you. Gold standard listener on Podbean. So we love it. Now, guys, listen up. Here's what we got today. So we're taking on Oklahoma weed law. And then, of course, we're going to dive into drunk driving you a bitch. But before we can do that, we have a huge Wake and Bake America radio station announcement. That's right. You're hearing it first, right here first, unless you got Instagram. Then you're hearing it first, right here first today. We have just inked the deal. We have signed the papers. We have made the trade. We have processed the meat. We have made the sausage. We were in the room where it happened. And guess what happened, folks? Sorry, I needed a drink of my medicated coffee that's doused with Keith that's been decarboxylated at 245 degrees for 40 minutes because that's how you do it. So anyway, the room where it happened, what happened is we inked a deal, guys. We just signed a new show. That's right, Newbie and the Doobie. You can look them up on Spotify, on iTunes, all that stuff. We have just inked them to a U.S. deal with us here at Wake and Bake America Radio. They're going to be joining the station coming up in the next couple of weeks to month. So we're going to start getting content, and that's going to be on there. That's going to be ready to go, and that's going to be Newbie and the Doobie out of Canada. If you don't know about Newbie and the Doobie, that's Mary Jane Baker. She is a stoned out, stony chick, and then she does a show with Tim, a stand-up comedian and writer who kind of doesn't really smoke pot, really, you know? And so Newbie and the Doobie, great show, guys, coming to the Wake and Bake America family, and that's coming soon. You can also meet Tim. He'll be on Blunt Football Talk next Tuesday live when it airs with Scotty Pimpin, Podcast P, and MistaTre, that's me. We do a football and a sports show. We're going to be talking about baseball, and of course, Timmy from Newbie and the Doobie in true Timmy fashion is going to literally, for a lack of better words, guys, Timmy in true Timmy fashion is going to be coming to us live from the Toronto Blue Jays home opener. It's going to be so freaking great. And Dave on the Instagram feed right now says Mary Jane Baker is great, and he is not lying. She is an amazing character. I got to meet her and Tim through the podcast Stoner Avenue, and I just love them. I am like, guys, I literally have been walking around my house singing the song Room Where It Happened from the play Hamilton. You were in the room where it happened, in the room where it happened, because I feel like, and Scotty knows where I'm coming from on this. Scotty Pimpin, of course, on the Wake and Bake America show. He's also going to be doing his Moonlight show with his wife. They're doing a couple show, going to be a great show. They're coming to the station later this spring as well. We've got so much planned for you guys. I am literally going bankrupt, broke, and spending every dollar I got to get this thing going and to have a true cannabis podcast station, radio station, again, like we used to have, that is truly geared and gained towards hosts that are stoners. Their subjects, their shows don't have to be about weed, but every single one of our hosts is a stony, crusty dude or dudette. And I love what I've been able to put together. I feel like when the plan comes together, I feel like we are like literally gonna, you know, you ever just do something and you just know it's happening, and it's happening right in front of your face, man. And I'm telling you, I'm so hyped up because I just inked somebody today. We've got so much coming to you guys. If you guys haven't checked out Control Alt Throw Against Wall with Chuck and Dillinger, guys, I'm telling you, Dillinger has more radio experience than I do. Found that out today. Dude has absolutely freaking got an amazing radio voice, and it turns out he's been doing radio since the late 90s. And I was like, holy shit, I've only been doing radio for like 10, 15 years and podcasting for only about 5, because I started in traditional radio and kind of went the other direction. And if you just imagine the guy grabbing his money and saying, I ain't fucking with you no more. That's how I ended up here. So I'm spending it all for my fans. I'm spending it all for our listeners. We're going broke, not literally, but metaphorically, and somewhat sometimes literally. But we're doing what we got to do because we want to give you guys what you guys want, and that's a true cannabis radio station, and that's right here on Wake and Bake America Radio. And let's go ahead and kick this show off. It's 2 birds and 1 stoner, and we're going to rock and roll right now. Here we go with the best part of our show. You know what it is? We're going to get into the damn dirt today. Now, you know, we started off last week with some real, happy-go-lucky, feel-good stuff. But as I digress, guys, I want to get into a real issue that is an issue for me that I think that Oklahoma didn't understand. And so I don't know about you guys out there in the world of podcast listening in the radio world. And again, shout out to all of our listeners over on iTunes, Spotify, God, it's everything. Google Play, Samsung Podcast, Samsung Free. We're on everything, guys. I mean, if you just type Wake-in-Bake America Show, you'll find us. The best way to get into the show live, though, is to be at the right place at the right time. And that's set up alerts on the Podbean app, and you can actually see our shows that are recorded live. Right now, 2 of our shows are recorded live, Blunt Football Talk and this show, Two Birds and One Stoner. And then, of course, we have other shows that they're pre-recorded and then sent into the station. So just check us out, guys. I'm telling you, I'm putting something real together here. And if you don't like a show, just skip to the next show, just like any radio station. The difference is it's on demand, so you can do that. And I love that about our station, because you don't have to like our sports show if you're not a sports guy. Oh, man, thanks, Paul. Paul G sharing the live show, like the show, love the show. Paul G, you're aces, dude. Like I said, aces. Paul G in the live room right now commenting on the show. And shout out to everybody over on Instagram as well that stopped in to check out the show. So let's get right to it. So Oklahoma, guys, and please comment. Drop your comments. I'm going to be speaking to them live on the show. Anybody wants to chime in on the show, you're more than welcome. Just send a request. We allow calls. You can join us on Podbean or through Instagram at Wake-in-Bake America Radio. That's where you find us on Instagram. Get with it. Get with the radio show. Get down with the show that literally is built by the podcasters and radio host of the station and funded by me, which means it's privately funded by a stony, crusty dude. So you get the truth, you get the real news, and we talk about a lot of pot mixed in with that more than anything, on my show at least. So 2 birds and 1 stoner, 2 topics, 1 stoner. Here we go. So my first subject is Oklahoma voters say no to recreational weed, and I want to just give you guys some fun facts that I think that these people of Oklahoma, I didn't say these people, I just bit my lip and stuttered a little, but the people of Oklahoma, rather, I know I can say these people, you people, how could you people do that? How could you? No, but seriously, well, I make my jokes. I think the people of Oklahoma, guys, were sorely duped. I think that the people of Oklahoma were, for lack of better words, were mistreated, abused, in a sense, by being given the wrong information, by being given stuff that wasn't the truth. So here we go, guys. Oklahoma, I want to just tell you guys, voters voted down the right to recreational use of marijuana. The opponents for marijuana, the opponents against marijuana outspent the proponents for marijuana $20 for every $1. So the GOP powerhouse, which is where the big government in Oklahoma's back, let's be honest, Republican Governor Kevin Stent and many of the state's GOP legislators, including nearly every Republican senator, opposed the idea for recreational cannabis. They also got people like an FBI agent, ex-White House, or Terry White, former Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Service. There we go. There's my notes. And they said that they are pleased that voters have spoken and denied weed. But here's the truth behind that statement. Here's the truth behind Oklahoma's weed. First off, where was Big Cannabis? Where was Big Cannabis funding? You got outspent 20-1 on money. Now listen, you don't have to match the GOP. Everybody knows that they're corny, crusty cats who hate weed. We get it, right? If you're GOP and you like weed, then you're down with me. If you GOP and you down with weed and you can accept election results, then we're friends, okay? But what I will tell you is that your party is the dysfunctional factor in us getting weed passed. So we need your help, though, because what we saw was Republican donor money from out of the state of Oklahoma. And now I'm in Colorado, by the way, but I'm repping it for Oklahoma voters who got shafted and shammed. And so, listen, what started this whole story, and I should probably just get into that first, is what started this whole story is there's a man by the name of Cortland. He is a huge fan of the show. I'm actually hoping that he stops by, but I told him to stop by, but he may be busy. You know, he does grow in a garden. He goes with the girls, but he posted something that said, you know, like, haha, Big Cannabis, you know, take that, big ag, blah, 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 little man wins, you know, the medical community wins, keeping it medical, da, 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 da. Go easy on Cortland, people. Come on, have a heart. But in the end, I was really like, what the, Cortland? Because I put in the comments, you guys know me. I'm only a dick to people that I don't know. If I actually know you, I won't be a dick to you. If you're a fan of my show, I'm not going to shit on you. But I did go in and I said, hey, Cortland, I really want to bring this topic to the table for my show, Two Birds and One Stoner, because I don't think that you understand what you guys voted no on. He goes, yes, I did. In his statement, he's basically saying, yes, I did. I voted no on big cannabis, recreational tax, and keeping it medical. And I thought to myself, I'm sorry, guys, I got a little bit scratch in the back there somewhere. It's hurting me, it's scratching me. But I just keep spinning my Buddhist mantra wheel on my neck and just spin it, and I flick it, and then I stop it, and I go, okay, which mantra is it? And then I try to do that mantra. Not right now, though, because we're doing a radio show. But so Cortland said that, and I didn't understand it. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. Welcome aboard, Scotty Simpson. Of course, you can check out Scotty Simpson on the Wake and Bake America show. You're always welcome. And I'm always inviting listeners in if they want to come in and speak on the show. I don't like a one-way show where it's just me talking. So I'm all for if you guys want to hop in the show, if you guys want to join the show. But I did want to say that, guys, when it comes to the business of cannabis, when it comes to, sort of how it's all done, like I made the joke, how the sausage is made, right? Until you know how it's really made, you may not even want to eat it, but you're sure all for eating it until you figure out how it's made. So that's what I really wanted to spend this time on. I did want to bash on Oklahoma voters because I think that you fell for the bullshit. You fell for the soup. And I'm going to go back to Cortland's statement. And what I mean is this. Hey, anytime, Paul. I just wanted to say I send an invite to anybody who jumps in the show. You're welcome anytime, Paul. Paul G, a great listener of the show. Welcome to the show, Paul G. I really appreciate you coming in, loving all of our shows and our different stuff, and just being a good fan, man. I really appreciate that. It's always great to meet another stony, crusty dude or dudette out there, man. I really mean that. Scott Simpson is a speaker now. Hold on. Let's go to the phone lines. I don't see you. I don't think he's actually in here. I haven't like added someone, but that'll be cool if he comes in here because I love having Scotty in, Scotty Pimpin from the Wake and Bake America Blunt Football Talk Show, Wake and Bake Radio Blunt Football Talk Show, and then he also has his own talk show that he produces and makes his money off of. And if you've got a talk show out there and you want to be part of the Wake and Bake America broadcast conglomerate and now worldwide conglomerate of radio shows, please send us your information. Let's start a dialogue. That's info@Wake the letter N Bake America Show. That's info@Wake the letter Bake. Info@Wake the letter N Bake America Show.com. By the way, check out Rebel Hair Art on Instagram and check out Sam's Creation on Instagram. I don't have my studio notes in front of me. I left the commercials in another part of the station. So, and this is a straight show, no commercials. So I can't just go run off and get them. And I don't have the boys here to cover for me. So, I don't try to join back in, Scotty Pimpin. I'm just not sure how to get you in here, and I didn't hear you talking either way. If you were in here, oh, there you are. Oh, I see you now. Hold on, let me add your mic. We're gonna get Scotty Pimpin in here. So back to Oklahoma law. So when Cortland said we're gonna keep him out of this, this is gonna be medical only, and I said, Cortland, what you're literally saying is that you are completely okay, literally completely okay. With okay, I keep trying to get him here and then he keeps leaving. Oh, he never actually joins. It doesn't show you joined where I can turn your mic on, buddy. Just so you know, Scotty Pimpin, if you want to join the show, you got to actually. Oh, there he is. Now I can put you in here. Hey, buddy.
What's up?
Oh my God, it's Scotty Pimpin.
Finally made it. Hey,
thanks for calling the show.
This is a new experience for Scotty on Podbeam. If you are on Podbeam, follow me because I have no followers. This is literally my first time using Podbeam. I know it sounds weird, but
I'll follow you.
Normally, I just catch our shows on my favorite streaming device.
So, Scotty, back to the topic at hand. So when Cortland said, hey, let's keep this medical, screw big ag. And I was like, yeah, screw big ag. But you're also saying let's keep this illegal, meaning you can be jailed for it. And I feel like in the metaphorical Instagram room we were in talking, you could have heard a fucking pin drop after I said that, though, because that was the realest shit ever.
I mean, it does open the door, right? I mean, when you actually break it down, especially the way that you can break it down for us.
Absolutely. I will. Oh man, I was just about to add Larry and let him call in, but he left. Bye, Larry. Come back, Larry. We'll let you in the show. We always do. But yeah, I just think that it's interesting that Oklahoma, that no one put out a commercial, no one put out any type of like, what do you want to call it, like fan based stuff. No one put out a anything that was like, hey, do you realize that by voting yes on this, you are decriminalizing it by way of by way of that? You understand? Like no one said that. You know what I'm saying? And I did follow you, by the way, on Podbean from our business account. I didn't want you to feel so lonely.
Thank you.
Oh, Scotty Pimpin, guys, he's got a show coming out. You know what? Real quick, just plug your show. Shameless plug moment. Plug your show real quick. Coming out later this spring.
Moonlight Convos. We're still putting it together. It's going to be a show with me and the wife, Jamie. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything, but what we're going to really do is take 5 subjects, kind of throw it in a hat, and just, pick out 2 or 3 of them and talk about those.
I love it. I think it's a great idea.
It's going to be fun.
So, Scott, when I talk about the whole Oklahoma thing, before I move on from the Oklahoma issue, is this, that I don't think voters understood that the proposal, had it passed, it would have allowed anyone over the age of 21 to purchase and possess up to 1 ounce of marijuana or concentrates, marijuana-infused products, and etc. Recreational sales would be much like Colorado, except the excise tax would only be 15%, but that would be on top of the standard tax of whatever Oklahoma state sales tax is or whatever, right? The excise tax, get this, so remember, Oklahoma, I'm not here to pick on you. I'm not here to vote shame you. I do believe that you should vote how you feel. I just sometimes question if you understand what you voted for, though. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I understand. I don't think you know or understand what you really said yes or no to. So I thought that I would take the liberty to explain to Oklahoma voters, and hopefully they can get it right during the next election cycle in 2024, right? But unless they have a separate, unless they can have a separate, like, I would do this on it. First off, I think that you had 2 things working against you. One, you did it on the midterms. Midterms have, first off, I don't know if you know this, Scotty. I don't know if you listeners out there know this, but midterms are brutal for turn your mic down a bit, I think. Oh, am I maxing? There we go. Sorry. Is that better? I hope it's better. I took the gain out. But anyway, so anyone who was getting a little ear blasted there when I was getting excited, my apologies. So back to what I was saying, though, is you want to get a cannabis vote. You want to definitely have a cannabis vote on a general election. First off, you have to look at liberal turnout, right? Versus Republican turnout versus independent ticket turnout. And when you're talking about a midterm election, right? And by the way, Scotty Pimpin, if you could give me a little bit of check there and let me know I'm good. But and I appreciate that, buddy. But and yeah, anytime you guys hear something funky, you're listening to the show live. By God, please say something. We can make a direct.
We're gonna get it tuned in though.
Yeah, well, it usually is, but I did look down and I was like, oh, I must have bumped my own gain. But anyway, so party foul. But hey, look, I'm stoned. I'm in the studio. I'm living my best life. I got 2 grandkids and 1 on the way. I'm in my 40s. I'm living it. I'm loving it. I'm finally done with the child support. My kids are adults kind of thing, like I have disposable income. I'm over here building radio stations for my friends and even people I didn't even know. And then other people, like I meet people, Scotty, through the industry. Like, as you imagine, coming up on 420 when I go around the whole city, and I may even take a trip down to Pueblo or up to the Springs, or I don't know. I'm not going to go to Denver. That's just too much work for too little return, if you get what I'm saying. But hitting Denko, where the home of Sick Tease's extraction operation there, right? Like, duh, I got to swing by. So, in the end, Oklahoma, this is what you gave up, because I need to get back on subject here because we're almost out of time for the first subject. So, Oklahoma, here's what you gave up. You gave up removing a crime. You gave up removing people going to jail. You did not save the taxpayer anything because the taxpayer would be the only taxpayer to weed would be the person purchasing it. Yeah. So that's what you gave up. And then on top of that, I don't think you understood what those taxes would pay for. See, here in Colorado, as many of our listeners from the state would tell you in a heartbeat, here in Colorado, oh, sorry, I didn't know if you muted yourself on purpose. Here in Colorado, the taxes go to building like new schools and funding different things for, even the police and different things like that. And don't get me wrong, Colorado Springs did the same thing. They said no here. But I think, and again, what you're doing is you're getting stymied by ultra-conservative and church conservatives. You're not getting stymied by business conservatives that like weed. You're getting stymied by the big bucket money that comes into the GOP donation corps, which is from the ultra-conservative religious sector, and they're very anti-cannabis. So that's what we have here, and same thing happened. And so when I look at Oklahoma, while some of our tax dollars do still go even from the medical program, but from the recreational program go to other things, here the excise tax would be helped to fund, ready? Local municipalities, meaning local governments would have got some of this money and they still voted against it. It would have went to the local court systems to help fund underfunded court systems and why people sit in jail in Oklahoma for so long. It would have went to public schools. So in a state that is iconically known for having a terrible school system and is iconically known for having just, piss poor, I would just go piss poor. We like you too, Paul. Thank you. Paul says he likes the radio show and the station. So, guys, I just find Oklahoma to be piss poor in understanding what you did. You have a piss poor public school system and you're not for bilking potheads out of the money to fund it? Like, come on, man. Like, even I was like, please, bilk me to build schools. Bilk me to build high schools. Bilk me to fund university scholarships. Please, bilk the fuck away. By the way, shout out to Pueblo, who was one of the first and biggest distributors of public funds raised from marijuana for scholarships to local community colleges there. Fun fact. So of all the fun things that we can make fun of Pueblo for, honest answer, Olale, vato! What are you doing down there? No, vato, nobody oversee. But there is one thing that's very awesome about Pueblo, the way they spend those cannabis tax dollars, guys, especially when it comes to setting up funding for underprivileged individuals, underprivileged youth, underprivileged people just across the board, utterly underprivileged. And I just can't stress enough how much I truly, truly appreciate, people that understood that. But, I got to be honest with you guys. We just hate the fact, in a sense, right? We just hate the fact that there isn't a better understanding of what you're voting on. And you're just voting with what you see in a 30 to 60 second commercial of someone slamming the law. And then you had medical cannabis bilking against this because they want you to the state was against it because they want you to keep buying license instead of having a free reign on just going and picking up pot. So they get money out of you if you have to buy the license. So you're forcing people into a license. Now, people like myself that want to be protected medically under like HIPAA laws and medical rights laws, you should go get your license and you should have a medical reason to do that. But in Oklahoma, you voted against people who don't need it for medical but would like to use it privately and are willing to pay that extra excise tax in the process. And you're saying instead of paying 15% excise tax on top of the sales tax, go ahead and just pay for a full-blown medical license, have to go to a doctor. I don't even know if Oklahoma's dealing with the doctor mill program, and we all know what that is. If y'all remember the pill mill program, we don't have that program here really as a problem. I think the biggest problem here is that the state got all uppity about the doctors giving people unlimited plant counts, which, by the way, I think it's fucking atrocious that you can tell me that I can only grow X, Y, or amount of plants in my backyard. If I have the backyard ground space, just like a fucking vegetable garden, I should be able to grow my whole backyard if I want. There's certain freedoms in America, guys. Listen, I'll get in the gun debate with you because I'm a gun owner, but I also see the problems. I'll get into this debate with you, for that debate with you. I try to stay out of politics, but if you want to talk politics on the side, I'll have a conversation with you, because I like to understand people's sides of it so that I don't feel like I'm personally alienated in the process of understanding and getting to know people. True story. We got to move on, though. We got to get into our next topic.
Real quick.
And
Real quick,
Please.
I wanted to chime in because New Hampshire is on the board to on their way to legalizing it too. New Hampshire, take a picture of Oklahoma and don't do that.
don't drink the Kool-Aid. I mean, thank you, Scotty Pimpin. Actually, great point. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Be smart here. And listen, I'm not saying you're dumb, New Hampshire, by all means. By God, I think you have one of the highest educated rates in the country per capita. I promise you. You're not literally dumb. So what I'm saying is, don't be ignorant here and stupid here and dummy dumb, as my family back on the East Coast would be like, don't be stupid, kid.
Come on now.
Listen to me here. Holly wants to park the car down there and go down with the fellas, right? So chill out, dude. No, hey, seriously, though.
Hey, man, 2 birds, 1 stoner. I appreciate you letting me in on the second episode. I wanted to talk about your next subject, but I'm not going to be able to stick around for it. I love you, man. Y'all have fun.
I'll see you at game time tonight. You just let me know when you're ready.
All right.
It's great to have friends. That's all I'm saying. It's good to have friends. It's good to have friends. It's good to have people who wanna have that conversation called gaming. All right, so I'm sure Scotty Pimpin will stick around and listen to us. But if he does get a chance to get back in on the alcohol talk, we're going to be getting to that right now. So it's time for part 2 of our show. Of course, this show, of course, always reverse sponsored. And when I say reverse sponsored, that means that we are sponsoring these businesses rather than these businesses sponsor us. How are we doing it? Well, we are part of the Small Business Initiative. I have been since we were on live FM AM radio. And so we take part in the Small Business Initiative, and we go ahead and we sponsor and we take care of our people. We look out for our people. And part of doing that is that we just, I don't know any other way to say it, but we just love looking out for people. And so guys, hear me out here. When it comes to the world of cannabis, you have to think edibles. When you think edibles, you have to think Sam's Creation. That's Sam's with a Z, Creations with a Z. A great out-of-home small business operator who is the edible queen and the psilocybin edible queen. And I'm telling you, she's just a damn queen. Look up on Instagram and Facebook and all your favorite social media places, Sam's Creations. That's Sam's with a Z, Creations with a Z. Send her a message, inbox her. And then, of course, don't forget to check out Jamie from Rebel Hair Art. That's Rebel Hair Art on Instagram, Rebel Hair Art. She is a small business operator operating out of Studio One Salon, located on North Academy in Colorado Springs. Google it, give it a star, mention Jamie, show some love at Studio One Salon and Rebel Hair Art at Studio One Salon. See Jamie, book your appointment today. Hey, you want that hot girl summer? You got to get that hot girl haircut first, girl. You heard? All right, so let's get back into our next subject. It's time for M.A. Dizzle. You know what it dizzle. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So for those of you that don't know, at first I was going to attack this drunk driving subject head on a couple weeks back when my uncle was murdered by a drunk driver. But unfortunately, I felt myself becoming a bit enraged, if you would. One, because I had a friend in high school, just a buddy from school, didn't hang out outside of school, just a homie in school, played basketball at lunch, kind of homie, and was a cool dude that I had a couple classes with, but we were still friends. And he was killed by a drunk driver on I-25 back in like 97, 98 time frame. And ever since then, I have been vehemently opposed to drunk driving, to a point of me doing it one time in college. And I don't remember how I got home driving across the mean streets of Phoenix in college from a party over in, I think that one was up off of, I think it was off North Mesa Road. So it would have been in the North Mesa area, up where actually funny enough, it's up by where my parents live now in Mesa. But, and back then I lived down on Southern and Mill, to give you a kind of a scope of the 8 to 10 mile away distance it roughly is through the city. And that's through the city too. So it's a 20-minute drive easy. And I don't remember ever driving home home, and quite frankly, to be honest, I don't mind being candid about this story and telling you that it scared the fuck out of me. It literally frightened the shit out of me to a level that to this day, I just thought about everything that could have went wrong. I thought about all the things that that could have went just all of it, guys. I just thought about it all, man. And I really just sat down and said, you can never do this again. I have never drove after more than one drink, which would be the legal limit. One beer, one wine, one shot, one mixed cocktail made with essentially one shot is essentially what I believe is the tolerable limit where you would not be fucked up. I also think that you have to consider time, hydration, fooding, all of that before you get behind the wheel. And then also you got to consider, much like my uncle, he doesn't have his life anymore, and that's because of, to me, a bum. Mr. Starr murdered my uncle in Oklahoma. Sorry, I still got Oklahoma's problems on my brain, and I'm trying to move on to my own, and one that's been stuck with me for many, many moons. I've never been okay with people drunk driving. Because I worked in the club scene as a DJ, I've always given the best advice that you shouldn't do that. And then I usually would wait for a half hour to 45 minutes till the parking lot clears. So I know if you're out there killing someone in them streets, it's less likely you're going to kill me. There was a time where I wanted to get fucked up every night at the nightclub and fucking DJ and whipping my wheels. And, I was wanting to get my time in the stew, or not in the stew, but in the nightclub time. And I had my fun. And quite frankly, it was exciting. It's what I love to do. I enjoy it, quite frankly. No other way around it. And it's fun. But at the end of the day, there we go. There's my nightclub music. All right, yeah, that's better. Hold on, let's turn it that way. Here's a Trey. Hey. I used to be like this, guys. He's like, oh yeah, that's an L. Yeah, we used to have so much fun. All right, take that down. So anyway, just watching people leave drunk, I think that the thing that's probably drove me the most nuts over the years. Thank you again, Paul G. We love you, dude. I followed you already on the podcast platform Podbean, where we do our live shows from. Also, you can catch all of our other shows on all your favorite podcast platforms. Kind of a reminder to do that real quick. Just tell you guys, on all your favorite podcast platforms, all you have to do is just look for Wake-in-Bake America Radio. That's Wake-in-Bake America Radio. You'll find us on all your favorite podcast platforms like Podbean, iHeartRadio, Spotify. You can say, Alexa, play this. I can't say it too loud because my phone will do things that I don't need it to do right now. But, you can tell Alexa to play stuff. You can tell Google to find us. Just say, hey, Google Podcast, find this, and it'll do it. I'm trying not to say it too loud because I use Google Assistant, so I don't want it to go off because I use it on my phone and here in the studio. But anyway, so just check us out across all your favorite platforms. Again, I just want to give a special shout out to Paul G. He's actually the top fan of our live castings, and I believe he's one of the top fans on the Podbean platform, just because that's where Paul G likes to get involved in the live show. Love it, dude. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for hanging out for a minute. Again, I just want to say thank you. This is a fan-centric show, so if you got comments, we're gonna preach them. You can, like I said, you can join the show through Podbean. Live. You can also join the show on Instagram at Bake America Radio, right there on Instagram as well. It is time. Before I get into the statistics of drunk driving and why it pisses me off, the number one reason why drunk driving pisses me off, I think it's time for a bong rip. Okay. I'm okay. I'm good. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting totally lightheaded. All right, so I'm back, though. I'm okay. I'm back. Ooh, I might have held that too long. But that's okay, though. That was a good one. Hey, on this show, injuries can happen. You don't want to know about it, but injuries can happen. One time, I literally kicked Podcast P as a joke and actually hurt him. Like, literally, for real, hurt him to the point where he wanted to really fight. Just a little bit, because I'm still squirrely, even though he's bigger than me. So it was only a little bit, but he did want to fight for like 2.2 seconds. And then we both realized that we're in our 40s. And one, it's childish, which we were okay with that part, actually. We were actually completely okay with that part. But we also knew that, too, not only are we childish, but we're also old. And we don't want to, oh, my God, that's a first. We're old and crusty, and we don't want to get hurt. So, guys, I just wanted to say thank you one more time. Let's get back to it. So, if you're drunk driving to me, I think that's just a bitch-made move. And the reason why is because if you're out there in the streets wasted and you like to a point where like live your own life, but when you start doing things that risk other people's lives, that I got a problem with that. Like, this ain't a safe world. But if you want to tell me that drunk driving's excusable, I'll literally lose my shit. To the literal sense of lose my shit. You guys would lose your mind if you knew the truth about how dumb our society is. For instance, when in the 70s, essentially people were pissed about not wanting drunk driving. They're like, oh, we don't want the government in our liquor and this and that and the other and this, that, and the other. And I just thought to myself, I was like, they were like forcing us to put our kids, how do you say it? Like forcing us to put our kids in seatbelts and all this crazy stuff. And I was just like, wait a minute. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what part of this was like the okay part. Like, what the hell? Listen to this. You can't make this shit up. Listen to this. Lies. Okay, I'm sorry. The 70s is great, right? You can't make this shit up. So anyway, as I digress through this situation, that video is funny for the anti DUI, trying to teach people, and like they were like showing the like some of the most clean cut like white dudes in the 70s, right? Like totally trying to sell you that these are perfectly normal people and they're getting, putting a pokey over DUI. What I can't show you because I can't find the damn video is the anti-DUI people, not as in like against DUIs, but against DUIs being allowed to be a thing. Like they were pro drunk driving. You listen to me. Before you freak out on me, I didn't say pro drunk driving, okay? Just for the record, that's not what I said. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but I'm mad. Anyway, but just for the record, that's not what I said. Right. Don't know what that was for. Somewhat unnecessary, but cool. Now it's just messed up. It's distasteful. Stop it. So these people literally were saying things like I told you earlier. You got to keep the government out of our lives. You got to keep the government from infiltrating our right to drink and drive. And I was like, wait, what? Like, how in the fuck is, excuse my language, okay? But how on the hell of hells of hell and the hell of hell hells? I mean, please just tell me how you want to be pro drunk driving. I just don't understand that. Like, even if you made a bad choice, you're just a dummy, you fucked up, you're not a bad person, but you make bad choices, you're still not pro drunk driving, right? I mean, like, is that a thing? Am I just that not willing to be that guy or that person that I can't even fathom someone being pro drunk driving? Let that sink in for a second, that when drunk driving laws were passed and seatbelt laws were passed in the 70s, after literally thousands upon tens of thousands of kids were being killed every year because of seatbelts. And then, of course, you had tens of thousands of people dying, hundreds of thousands of people being maimed and mangled in car accidents due to drunk drivers and so forth. And at the same time, you had people on the news bitching and complaining that society had moved forward to a point, listen to me, moved forward to a point where drunk driving was so whack shit that we were just not okay with it. And there was still a faction of people out there that were like, you're violating my constitutional rights to fucking drink and drive. And I'm going like, as a studier of the Constitution, I don't want to get into politics here, folks, on this show, but as a person who has faithfully studied and willfully studied the Constitution of the United States, I just want to know where in the fucking Constitution it says thou has the right to fucking drink and drive. Like, I just want to know. Like, please pull up the Constitution, highlight that section, screenshot that bitch, and send it to info@Wake the Letter in Bake America Show. Please, info@Wake the Letter in Bake America Show.com. If you can find that, because, you know, I got to find that person. I got to find that existent human. I have to find that human being that's okay. That's like, yeah. Drunk driving cool as fuck. Like, please tell me. Please just tell me who does that. But it happened. And so I got to take another pause for the cause. I got to rip another bong rip. Thank you for your likes. Please keep sending your likes, guys. That actually gets us more relevant and gets us out there. Make sure you like us on all your favorite podcast servers. Make sure, you're our heroes, man. Make sure that you guys take care of helping us out, guys. Please. You are literally our heroes. Like us on everything you hear us on. Like every episode. Like everybody's show. Please support Moonlight Combos. Damn it, I probably fucked that up, didn't I? It's probably Moonlit. I'm sorry, Scotty. I love you. I'm bad with stuff until it's finally like all there going on. I screwed up control. Throw against wall. I still almost screw it up. And then Newbie and the Doobie, I don't screw them up. There's just rolls right off the tongue, and I've also known them for like year or two. We sent gift baskets to each other from, oh man, I got to really talk to them. Like, you know what? I am going to charge them to be part of our radio conglomerate. I'm going to charge them a US package sent to me with those goddamn chips you guys sent me. Cause holy shit, those chips. Oh my God. That's all I'm going to ask Newbie and the Doobie to send me to be part of the Wake and Bake America radio station is to send me those chips they sent me, the all season or season all whatever. They're from Canada. Oh my fucking God. And you can send the ketchup chips. My kids love them, but I'm just not into that, dog. I barely like ketchup. I like ketchups on hamburgers and hot dogs. Even on hot dogs, I'm kind of more of a bougie bitch. I like a bratwurst with like some sauerkraut and some fucking spicy mustard. I'm half German though. My mom's side of the family is like old world German folk. Like my great grandparents were from Germany. So anyway, and then of course my father from Puerto Rico. So I'm a half a grit. I call myself a half a grit. Because I didn't have to immigrate here, but my parent did. And then my other parents, I don't know, I'm probably fucking that up too. You know what? Who cares? We're all having a fun time. I'm smoking pot and we're talking about why DUIs, drunk driving, you a bitch. Like, I'm sorry, but my uncle was killed 3 weeks ago. And we actually, I postponed the pre-launch of this show because I was so upset about it still that I wasn't ready to talk about it. But now I am. And let me take a bong break. All right, now I'm ready. So, I just don't understand drunk driving. Couple of statistics you want to hear. So I went on Mothers Against Drunk Driving It's a faction I support. I don't support everything about them because I think that everyone tries to lump weed and cannabis together, and that hardly, I mean, by fucking God's sake, hardly. So hardly that I'm only saying it in cynicism because it's still at least an intoxicant to a degree, but please, fucking hardly. Because some people may be shit-faced off of it, but not me, first off. And I can tell you right now, I don't care who you are, at one point or some point, you will be wasted. You can't, to where you can't drive, you can't sleep it off. It's gonna take, 10, 12 hours for you to sleep that off. And unfortunately, people decide to drive that way. No, terrible, right? No. Here's my thing. With cannabis, you smoke, you're not high in 2 hours. I mean, maybe some people might be, but cannabis stays in your system for up to 45 days. I'm not high usually 45 minutes to an hour from then, right? But with liquor, I'm definitely like, to shake off that buzz, like just to shake off a light buzz, I'll usually have like 2 or 3 or 4 cups of water and take a few pisses and still probably wait 2 or 3 hours to drive. And that's after just 2 drinks, 3 drinks. I always say for every drink you have, you probably need to wait at least that many hours after that to drive. So you have 5 drinks, you probably shouldn't be driving for 5 hours. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if you've had 5 drinks, you probably shouldn't be leaving the club wasted. And that's where it brings you to my point that there are ride share things and share it ride apps and all this other stuff that, maybe that person in the 70s might have been onto something that it sucked a little, right? Even though if they were total asshats for thinking that it wasn't okay to put kids in seatbelts and was okay to drink and drive, total asinine moment, please. Let's be honest. But can we at least have the decorum to say that they probably weren't completely stupid in the sense of, I don't know, maybe they were. I don't care. They were 70s people. 70s people. Just remember that 70s people are now 50, 60s people and never 50 to 60-year-old people, and never let that slip your mind. Okay. Fair enough. Just let that sink in for a second. Now, sorry to all my 70s folks, but concretely speaking, yeah, I'll fucking up. So anyway, but that's okay though. 80s babies to the rescue per usual. Ow. Sorry about that whistle. When you got that little gap right there and your tongue hit your teeth and be like, that's also how I whistle like a motherfucker at a football game, and people know where I'm sitting at. Anyway, so these statistics really piss me off. Here's why. You have, and I'm just going to go back to 2017. In 2000, because I'm not even going to go back to even right away. I'm just going to go back to 2017. First off, right away. Let's go to right away, even though I said I wasn't going to do that. But right away, right now here in Colorado, we are averaging, I think it's somewhere where we have like 300 or 450 some odd. It's right in the 400 to 500 range, I think now, maybe even be a little higher already, of people who have died and who have, welcome to the studio, by the way. Thanks for joining. People who have died from drunk driving just here in Colorado on the highways and stuff, right? That's just on the highways, right? And so when we couple that with the idea that so many people are dying every day, and then we look at even stats where we're pulling data from years ago that's already been quantified and verified, and we look at like 2017 where 10,874 people died in a drunk driving crash. That means that that's one person every 48 minutes of every day of the year of 2017. Every 48 minutes, a person died from a car crash. Over 300,000 people were maimed or injured due to a drunk driving crash or incident. That is according to the National Highway National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, also known as the NHTSA. So, with that said, that should frustrate you because, and I'm going to get to my final point because we're getting out of time here and the show's about to end. We're literally running down the hallway with the final commercial kind of level stuff here. There were 3.78 million attempts to drive drunk where a blood alcohol level was over 0.8, which is the preventable limit if you had an ignition interlock. There's an advocacy group out that wants ignition locks on cars to be mandated. I don't agree with that. I think there's a tough part of that I have a hard time with, because you're essentially saying that you want to watch me when I've done nothing wrong. And so that is why I have a hard time with it. But I understand, for instance, Mothers Against Drunk Driving wanting every car in America to have the safety interlock breathalyzer device on it so that you have to blow in your car to start it in the first place. But then I think that they have to understand that There are things that are going to stop your car from starting when you're not drunk, like waking up the next day and it thinking your blood alcohol is way over what it is because you still have it on your breath and in your system and in your lungs because you've been sleeping and you haven't had time to eat food. I've had a breathalyzer lock me out on my cousin's car, and all I did was have like 3 margaritas the night before, but I was up late and had to get up early. Was not drunk at all. Wish wouldn't have been driving though. So every day, but again, while I support Mothers Against Drunk Driving, again, I want to repeat that just like most political people that I support, I don't always support everything that they stand for or talk about. But I will say that Mothers Against Drunk Driving doesn't have, they're not coming for your cars. They're coming for our cars with their breathalyzers. No, I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think that if you drive drunk and you are caught, you should have to pay the price. And that's just the law of the land, we guys, we can't have a society that is, first off, there's no such thing as a true free society. There's no such thing, and we don't have it because there would be no laws or no rules. What we do have is a free democracy, which means the people have decided the rules. We don't like them all, and we don't agree with them all the time, but the people have genuinely elected people who have decided the rules that we all must abide by. And if we don't like it, then you need to find different people to vote for and get out of the sheep cycle or circle of political parties. I'm an independent. I lean as a progressive-minded independent because I believe that your body is a domain to whence only you can own. That's the truth. But I also am very governmental conservative to the degree of I do believe that we need small government and small government spending because it keeps taxes down. But people call me a progressive because I believe the rich should fucking pay their fair share. They don't. It's just simple and plain. It's not fucking fair that I pay thousands upon thousands of dollars in taxes and I'm lower middle, I'm more middle class now that the kids are out of the house and I have more money. But middle class, I'm more of a middle class guy, middle class household now, and it's not fucking right that I pay more taxes than people that make billions. Okay? I don't give a fuck what you donate. I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't give a fuck what you build. You should still have to pay your fair share. There's nothing wrong with that. And then somebody goes, well, then no one should pay taxes. I actually agree with that. I agree with a 15% national sales tax or less. And I don't agree with what the House Republicans are trying to do right now with a 30% sales tax, because at the end of the day, it screws everything up. If it's more than 15% for me, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I ain't trying to pay more than that because my taxes aren't more than that. That's why I don't want to pay more than 15% because I probably pay about 18 to 20% taxes right now. So 15% is me going, look, that's a negotiational point. That's it, though, little Govo. I'll be like, come here, little Govy. Come here, step on my knee so I can tell you how it is. Anyway, this isn't that kind of show, but I just wanted you to know that, like, I really am a even-keeled person who looks at the whole thing the way Peter Jennings taught me to do the news, and that's go around the table and really see it from that drunk person that thinks drunk driving is okay. Sometimes you can't fathom or understand what they're fucking doing, but you can at least give them the honor and dignity and respect to at least try to hear it from their side. I've always believed that. And hopefully, honestly, hopefully you do too, because at the end of the day, I think that that's what we really need. That's what we should have. We should have that honest conversation like this show is supposed to be about, like, who we are and what we're trying to accomplish here. And for me, I'm trying to stop. For instance, I'm trying to get people in Oklahoma to understand that you got duped, and you can have both a medical and a recreational system, so nobody has to go to jail, and that you got duped by the greedy, I would say probably the greedy medical industry, and then on the backside you got duped by the conservatives. And I'm not talking about your business conservatives that want to make money off pot. I'm talking about your religious conservatives of the far right of the wing that hate us pot people, straight up. I get called a fucking stupid liberal hippie all the time simply because I work for Wake and Bake America Radio. Let that sink in, that I just told you I'm a true independent and I get called a stupid hippie all the time. I will tell you one thing, though. The last few things, here's what it is, and here's how we're going to end the show today. Every day, 926 people are injured, or every 90 seconds, someone is injured in a drunk driving accident. And then those 90 seconds add up into about 48 minutes, and then someone dies. Drunk driving deaths in 2019 represented 28% of all traffic fatalities. At the end of the day, the only thing more deadly than a drunk driver to any of us in the United States is honestly probably, based off statistics, either COVID or getting shot. Honest answer. And then right after that, it's got to be drunk driving. I don't know, no, cancer. All right, you know what? I don't want to get into this debate because it's going to open a can of worms, and we're supposed to be going home. So I'm going to leave you with my final thought. My final thought is very simple on the whole situation, as it at least pertains to the drunk driving situation. Fuck all those statistics. Fuck all those stats. They won't bring my uncle back. They won't bring him back. They won't make him alive again. From what I understand, the dude had turned his life around in ways that I can only had hope for him when I was a teenager, and he fell apart after his divorce. Poor son of a bitch. And while he was a dick to his family, he really fell apart, and I felt bad for him. And I just wanted to say that at the end of the day, every single drunk driving fatality is preventable because you don't ever have to drive drunk.
Now, it's time for Two Birds and One Stoner with me, MistaTre, that feel-good show to get you going.
I woke up so motivated, I can't even lie. I've been stressing.
We're not in a position where we should agree. This isn't an easy subject, and that's okay around here.
You see, I got all my game from the streets of California. Young nigga.
I'm not questioning anybody's intelligence. I think we're past that. I'm now questioning the ethics of the situation.
So what, we smoke weed, we're just having fun.
I can't even believe it. I had to hang up on that guy. He just said he used weed that wasn't decarboxylated to cook. I can't do you today.
In my mind, they saying, make them remember your name. If they love you, it's cool. Give them a reason to hate you.
You could ask yourself an insane question. What if I'm not on any side and I just want the truth?
His gift is a curse. Forget the earth, he's got the urge to pull his dick from the dirt and fuck the whole universe. I'm not afraid.
Maybe we can have a debate over what successful is, but I can tell you one thing. I know I was meant to do this, and no one's going to argue that.
He said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.